in the hat of somebody else and just saying because I was asked to. That will make an entire difference in how we are going to present. Because if you don't believe in what we are going to say, it will not be credible. Doesn't matter how good actors we are, how good performers we are. If you don't believe in what we are sharing with others, people get it. Okay, unless you are an Oscar-winning award, actor or actress, and then you can just convince anybody of anything. But we are leaders. Is there any actor in the room? Sorry, I don't want to offend anybody. Yes? Okay, a little, some. Okay, so, and the third question we have to ask is not only if we believe in it. Do you feel passionate about it? Do you feel it's something that is burning inside you? So if you are sitting here, I assume you are passionate about the future, the present and the future of your country. And if you are going to be standing here to make a speech about what you believe should be done in Macedonia, you will be passionate about it, and you will convey that passion to the crowd in front of you. And then what you are going to be saying will probably achieve its goal, whatever your goal is. It comes again, so important that it repeats. The art of public speaking is basically about four steps. And interestingly enough, we're talking about public speaking. The first step is listening, not talking. What do I mean by listening? Listening means understanding who is the audience in front of you. Understanding who are you talking to. Understanding what's the age, how many people you have in front of you, what are their expectations, what are their needs. If you know that first, then when you speak, you are connecting to the needs and expectations of your audience. And that's the first thing you have to do. Listening is about learning who are you going to talk to. 1 hour ago, I just came in this room for 5 minutes when you were in the previous session, just to have a feeling of who you were. And I was behind, so you didn't see me, but I was looking at how many you are, what kind of questions you ask, how much interest you have in the lecture, what kind of interaction you had, and I observed that for 10 minutes, just for me to understand a little bit who are you, so that when I stand here now to communicate with you, then I can be more effective in my presentation. The second thing, interestingly enough, is still not speaking. It's thinking. It's not improvising. We have to think what we want to say. We have to think very carefully about, and we are going to work on that in a minute, we have to think very carefully what do we want to say and how before we start speaking. Because even if we are passionate and we believe and we know what to say, it has to be planned very carefully so that, again, we can achieve what we want to achieve. The third thing then is speaking. At the end of the day, public speaking and communicating through public speaking is about the speech you make. And it comes after listening and after thinking about what we want to say and what we actually say. And the fourth step is listening again. Because that's exactly the way you learned about how much you really understood what were the needs of the people, how much you were really on target about thinking how to say what you wanted to say, and then it's listening again. It's a cycle, as we are going to see in a minute. Now, as I said before, and we start listening to the audience, which is the first step, it's about understanding who are the people, how many they are. It's not the same to talk to 2 people, 5 people, 40 or 500 or 1,000 people. And that's something that in your leadership journey and life, you will see in different moments, hopefully, with big crowds, or to talk in front of 40,000 people at an election campaign. That's a different thing. It's not the same thing. As I said before, what do they want? If the screen was a little bit wider, it would say here how much they could listen. Okay? So I complete the sentence. How much people could listen? You know, I can use many examples of great speakers and terrible speakers. And because I live in so many different countries, and when we have a chance, I just don't want to take so much time in my own biography. I live in many different places, see many different speakers live talking. One of them is Fidel Castro. I live in Cuba for about 3 years. One of the best experiences in my life for everything I learned, not because it was easy to live there. And Fidel Castro has no sense. He's not a bad speaker, but he has no sense of how much time people can listen to him. At the end of the day, he doesn't care because he's effective anyway. You know, he puts people on buses, he brings them to the square, and they will sit there for 5 hours if needed, till the buses will bring them back home. It doesn't matter. That's, you know, that's the way the regime works in Cuba. So he basically talks for about 5 hours. He just keeps talking and talking and talking and talking. Many times we do the same mistake. Not for 5 hours.